In this lesson, I'm going to show you another way to do what we did in the previous lesson using duplication and cloning techniques. This time, though, we're going to use a Docker, the step and repeat Docker, and we're still working with our Green Onion file. If you've skipped to this lesson, though, or you don't have the file open, you can get all caught up by going to the Lesson 4 folder and opening up Green Onion File 7. You can see here I'm on my business card, which is the third page. Down across the bottom, we were duplicating some of these broccoli sprigs here. Well, I'm going to marquee select all of the broccoli sprigs after the first one here just by clicking and dragging around them and hit my delete key to remove them. And now I'm going to work with this one piece of broccoli down here in the bottom left hand corner. Now instead of using duplication, Control D and setting offsets and so on, I can do it all from one Docker by going up to the edit menu and selecting step and repeat. Control Shift D is the keyboard shortcut. So that opens up my Docker over here on the right hand side. And you can see I've got three sections, one for the number of copies I want to make, and then I've got my horizontal and vertical settings that I can set all from one spot. So let's say we want to copy this across the bottom, and we want those broccoli sprigs to be very close together. Well, we have to guess, first of all, on the number of copies. You could probably take an educated guess using the actual ruler across the top, how many you're going to need. If there's one every half an inch and we've got, over 3 inches, we're probably looking at maybe 6 or 8. So I'm going to start with 8 up here. I'm going to change my copies to 8. Now I do want to copy it to the right horizontally. So I'm going to go down to my horizontal settings and show you that we can set an offset. That's a distance between here of 0.25 inches. Notice down below we also have vertical settings. But we also have other options. By clicking the offset drop down, I can choose no offset whatsoever, or spacing between objects. Here's where I get to choose the exact space in between one object and the next. And here I'm going to change this to 0.1. There, so I just highlight what was there, type in my 1. The direction is already set correctly to the right. Notice the only other option is to the left, but I do want it to go to the right. Vertically, I don't want it to do anything. So where it says offset here, I'm going to click and choose no offset. And all I have to do now is click apply. And when I do, you can see that 8 is actually not quite enough using the distance that I chose in between these. The beauty of the Docker is all I have to do is undo what I did and change this to another number. So I might try 12. All the other settings are still there. I click apply. You can see 12 is actually just one too many. That's no problem. I can undo that and try 11, or I can just deselect, click on the last sprig, and delete it. It's gone. So now I've got my broccolis all the way across the bottom. Now what if I want to copy them up across the right hand side? Let's try this. Click on our sprig of broccoli. You can see it's a group of 18 objects, so it's grouped together already. That's perfect. And now I'm going to choose the number of copies I think I'm going to need here. Now that's probably around 8. I'm going to type in 8 here. You can also use the arrows to bump that up or down. In this case, the horizontal settings will have no offset whatsoever. It's all vertical. So in this case, I'm going to choose spacing between objects, so I can make it the exact same thing as what I did across the bottom, 0.1. And the direction is already set to up. That's the direction I want to go. I click apply, and you can see I've got a few too many here. No problem. I could start over or just deselect, marquee select the last 2 that I don't need, and hit delete. There we go. So that's a nice little effect. Now, of course, you can combine horizontal and vertical settings to get things going on the diagonal if you wanted to. You can use the offsets that are the defaults of 1/4 inch, both going to the right and up. So in this case, it would be similar to using Control D, your duplication tool that we talked about in the previous lesson, where those offsets are set for you. But instead of having to hit Control D a whole bunch of times, you just set the number of copies and it's done for you, just like that. So just another way for duplicating or cloning objects. Thanks to this Docker called the Step and Repeat Docker, you can combine all of those commands in one little area, click your apply button, and you're done.